Hey everyone, it's Ryan Leonard with Wolfnest Property Management, and today we're going to be talking about how you can choose the best tenant for your rental property. Now, most of the issues that landlords face usually stem from picking a bad tenant, whether it's damage to the property, late payments on rent, nuisance issues, or complaint from neighbors. Really all comes down to, you didn't place a great tenant, or the tenant wasn't able to pay rent, or they were a risk going into the property because they maybe didn't have great credit. So here's some of the things that you want to make sure that you're doing when you're looking for a new tenant. Now, the most important is follow the law. Utah fair housing laws is something that if you're not acquainted with, you should definitely look into it if you are a landlord. The biggest thing that you want to focus on is that you are not discriminating and that you are fair and consistent across all of the tenants that you are screening. Now, really what you need to avoid is discriminating based on nationality, religion, gender, familial status, and race or color. So obviously when you're looking for that right tenant, just make sure that you are following the law. Now, another one is credit scores. Now, credit scores are not a end-all be-all. You may have situations where a tenant just doesn't have a credit. They don't have a credit card. Maybe they're international, and there is actually no reportable data from where they're from. But for the most part, the majority of tenants are going to have a credit score. Now, the best thing about credit score is that it shows that the tenant pays on time. Now, not only just with rent, but with any car payments, cell phone payments, even credit card payments. If they're paying on time, they're going to have a better credit score. So credit score is always a good one to look at. Next one is verifying income. This is a big one. Not only do you want to ask for, W-2s or pay stubs, but make sure that you're following up with the employer and ensuring that information is correct, that they haven't been laid off since their last paycheck or they haven't had a reduction in hours. So checking in with the employer and verifying income and employment is a great way to, again, ensure that there's consistent money coming in and they can actually afford the property. Now, another one is background checks. This isn't just a criminal background check, but, looking at references, landlord references, employer references. Maybe while you're on the phone with that employer, ask some information about the tenant. Are they, responsible, timely? The more information you have about a tenant, the better decision that you can make. And again, getting references, a big one is landlord references. Now, not all tenants are going to have rented within the last 5, 10, even 20 years. We have a lot of people, especially here in Utah, that are relocating from out of state, and with the way the real estate market is with such low inventory, they're having to rent for the first year until they can build a new home or find the right home. So getting landlord references, as long as they're accredited as well. If they just have a DIY owner as a reference, they can put down their friend, their coworker, their family member, and get a glowing review. But if it's a member of the Utah Apartment Association, another management company, those are great references because they should actually be who they say they are. Now, a big one too is considering tenant placement. If this just seems so over your head, or if you don't have time to do the proper checks or really screening for tenants, do not just be in a rush and put someone in there because you have a mortgage payment coming up or it's been vacant for too long. Like I mentioned before, where most issues stem from are bad tenants, and by taking the time to properly screen and background check, credit check, employment verification, reference checks, landlord reference checks, these are all ways to help you make the best decision and get the best tenant in there. So if you want to take the stress out of finding that tenant, reach out to us. We have a great tenant placement program. Also, our premium and elite service have the tenant screening or tenant placement included in those packages absolutely free, meaning we do not charge leasing fees or lease renewal fees. So if you want to talk about your portfolio or a vacancy that you have currently, feel free to reach out to me. Happy to discuss and see if we could be a good fit for your investment property needs. There's my email, my phone number, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks.